Hello and good day, everyone. Morning, evening, or night, whatever it happens to be for you. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, we're coming to you with a tutorial on an infinite breeder, a relatively easy infinite breeder for Minecraft 1.16.1. That's the world that I'm playing in. I'm sure it goes backwards a few. Should continue to go forward. It's very simple. There's not a whole lot to it. It doesn't require a whole bunch of components. You just need some building blocks and you can be ready to go. For this, you're going to build a 9 by 9 square, just like you would for a normal crop. That's how we're going to do this. You can use carrots, potatoes, beets. I'm not sure if wheat would work because it takes so long to make the bread from the wheat to be throwing it back and forth. But, for us, we're just going to use carrots. Carrots are generally pretty easy if you get them early game. Potatoes as well. In this case, I actually happen to find a village in my world. This is my creative world copy of the world. But I found a village. I thought, man, what better place to build it than right near the village? That way I can get my first two villagers that I need to get this thing going. So I thought that would be just the best way to do it. You're going to need your building blocks. You're going to need your dirt. You're going to need a bucket of water. You're going to need a water slab, a composter, some lights, some signs for the water, for the drain off of the villagers. So I built a square right here. It's whatever size. The main size you're looking for is 9 by 9, and then you're going to build around that. In the middle, I said, okay, here's the middle of the 9 by 9. Let's build around it and get our water in to start so that we can irrigate our crops. We want all our crops to be irrigated. So we dropped in our water source, blammo, and then we went ahead and put in a slab to waterlog. That way, nothing falls in there accidentally. So we got that ready. We pop that in. And then we're going to go ahead and fill in the rest of this 9 by 9 square and hoe it so it's ready to be irrigated. So let's go ahead and get that done real quick. Fantastic. All right, we're ready. We've got this part done for what we have going on here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Ring the bell for notifications if you like the video. Give it a big thumbs up. Appreciate you. All right, so we got our composter. I put a light in there just in case something becomes unhoed. I don't want anything spawning, so definitely want your light source okay inside there. In general, though, inside of this mob farm, it's unspawnable. You're going to put 9 trap doors that fold down on any one end of this farm, either side, any one of the sides. It doesn't matter which one you choose. Just wherever you're going to want the baby villagers to jump out, they need to think there's a block that they can walk on. I used acacia wood because there was plenty around this area, so I went ahead and threw that in there. I dug out this hole right here. This is where I want to drain the baby villagers to. So I dug out a hole for them that they could go down. I went ahead and then finished getting some of this building done. I built an area where I could put the beds. You're going to need 9 beds. I think you can do this with up to 4 beds. I saw this video from Fizedi. It was perfectly fantastic for what I was looking for in the world. An easy infinite builder that didn't require a whole lot of effort. So yeah, he did one with 4 beds. He did one with 9 beds. I like the 9 bed. Maybe that makes him breed more. Maybe it doesn't. I'm not 100% sure, but this is where you're going to want to have your beds in this area right here. So we're going to get some more of this building put up around here. Get ready to pop them in. Wherever you have the beds, you're going to want a too high space around it, right? Too high. That means if you're standing on the bed and you're a baby villager, you can jump. Baby villagers love to jump on the bed. Blang, 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 blang. That's what draws them in. So you want to have that space where it's too high. We have this bottom space here. We're going to fill in here for the beds to put on. And then when we put the bottom slabs on the top, there'll still be a too high space for these guys. So that makes it a little bit easier for them. A little bit easier for them to get across. I'm going to put the 9 beds down with the heads facing away from the crops. I don't actually know if that matters, but sounds good to me. And then what I do along here is I put in some temporary blocks like so, and then I put the trap door on it. Boom, boom. I always do that. It's just easier to put your temporary blocks all the way across for your trap doors. You can click in the corner, but why pixel click when you can just put in temp blocks and just put your trap doors there? What are these trap doors for, you say? These are the trap doors to keep the adult villagers from crossing over into the path and trying to get to the beds as well. So they can see the beds. They know the beds are there. They know they want to sleep in those beds. Remember, they'll have claimed 2 of them in their mind, but they will be kept from going across. But the baby villagers, they slip right up underneath those trapdoors, walk across the block that they think is the trapdoor on the bottom, and they're good to go. All right, so we've got this second layer here. That way we have room to put our cobblestone in, or whatever it is that you use for your roof. I'm going to use cobblestone. It's early game. I don't have a whole lot of resources. I'm going to half slab it to get more out of the resources, and I'm going to make them bottom slabs so it's not spawnable. You don't have to have glass here. I like to stare at my villagers. I like to know what they're getting up to. I like to know if anything's wrong. You actually don't even need a door on here. I'm going to put a door to get in and out, but you don't really need one. It's just something that I like to have access to every now and then to go in there. Maybe you want to use these guys for trading as well. You can go inside. If you make your farmer like a carrot farmer, you can go inside and trade with him. Wheat farmer, maybe he's tilling carrots, but he's a potato farmer. Who knows? But you can end up getting emeralds from him, so that makes it kind of easy. So we're going to put this around. We have basically our structure around. It's going to be all glassed in. I thought I broke a dirt block. I did not, so that wasn't bad. We're going to finish filling this in with the glass. As you can see, the village is right there. So if I ran just dug kind of like a 1 or 2 deep tunnel, 2 or 3 wide, say 3 wide to fit a boat through, take my boat to the village, and then bring them back and put a couple easy walls against the glass, temp blocks like sand, dirt, and then break 2 pieces of glass, break the boat. The villager runs right inside. He's like, hey, I'm going in there. There's beds in there. There's carrots in there. I want to be up in that situation. So you can see I have this ditch down here, right? This is where the baby villagers are going to come from. They're going to come down this ditch. So I put glass around it for now so we can see what's going on. It doesn't have to be super tall, right? It's not something that has to be there. And then I went down in here and I built a little room for them. Now, in my world, it seemed like a good idea to throw some glass as there to be able to look down inside around their room. So they're down in there. I want to see the villagers. I want to know where they're at. On one side, you just leave an opening. That way you can put like some gates in there or a door. Gates are a little bit easier for putting like some tracks in there to get your villagers out, right? You want to get them out one at a time. You don't want to get them out in mass, and they will build up in mass. So that's something that you want to be careful of. So here we go, and we're looking at it like, oh, that looks pretty good. We got our little area. Clear out a little area around it so that I can step down to see in the glass. I mean, all this is just prettying things up, this part. Mainly, I now have a room that's glassed in that they can't get out of. So there you go. So you've got a place for them. We come back over here, and we're going to get our water source, our water flows going in here. So you'll need a couple buckets of water and some signs. And then we just set them up in here, and we want it to run out the 8 blocks. At the end, we pop in a sign. We did a little bit short, and then we pop in another one. And we do that all the way to their little center. So you want to make sure it ends at the center. You don't have to worry about them coming back up here. They can't walk against the water. They'll fight the water. So sometimes you'll see the baby villagers sitting in the water and just waiting. But this water, it goes far enough. It doesn't need to go that far. Just enough to get them in this room, and then they'll stay in the room. As they build up, they'll continue to push each other and fill the room up. I mean, you can have a literal unlimited amount going on. So right now we have glass here, so we can kind of see them as they're going. But it can be anything you want. It doesn't have to be glass as well. So it could be cobble, stone, wood, whatever. Whatever it is that you want. I like the glass for the first part to be able to see. And then later on, I will put a ceiling over it with bottom slabs of cobble for no apparent reason, just because. So here we have the structure of the farm built. Everything in the farm is sitting right here. We're looking at it. It looks good. We've got a place to catch the baby villagers. We're going to put a bottom slab ceiling on there for them as well. We definitely don't want them to get struck by lightning because they will be grown villagers when they're down here. They will grow up while they're down here. So we're going to want something over the top of them. I use the cobble. I'm playing in a hardcore world. Fire tick is on. Can't turn it off. So I don't want that to happen. I also don't want them getting struck by lightning and turning into witches. This just seems the easiest way to go, and I don't always sleep. I try to sleep as much as possible, but sometimes you miss out. It's like, hey, it didn't happen. You didn't sleep. Now you got a room full of witches or a room full of dead villagers because a witch killed them all. That's not something you want to be looking at. Then you got to go and you got to kill the witch. Then you got to start all over breeding your villagers. So just easier to go ahead and put your ceiling on. And it doesn't have to be cobblestone. It can be anything you want it to be. Again, this is just for decoration. So we'll get this finished up, and then we'll move on to our next step, the fun step, getting the villagers ready. Again, I built a path out of mine like that. I put 2 fence gates in here. Just easier for me to go through fence gates, especially since you can open the bottom one and run a rail through the top one, and it won't stop them from going through, right? So you can keep the adults in there. You got to watch out when there's no babies in there when you're doing the transportation, because they will run out if you open the bottom one, and then they're just a mad force to be reckoned with in your world. You never know. They might become evil wizards, and they're going to take over. Who wants them taking over? A bunch of baby villagers? That's insane. So we're going to go ahead and start putting the cobble over here. You can see that there is still a too high space so that the baby villagers will think, hey, I can jump there, so I am all right. Let's get on over there and check it out. And they run over there and like, woohoo, and they love it. So what I'll do is I'll put this around the edges, and then we'll go ahead and get some stuff inside so that it's ready for the villagers. So one of the things with the villagers is you want to make sure they're not going to start breeding until they can start trading carrots, and they have so many in their inventory. It could be 16. I literally throw 5 or 6 stacks at them. So generally what I do is I come in here. This is what I did. Excuse me. This is what I did in my world. I came in here and I planted all my carrots, got them all planted, then I bone mealed them. I wanted them ready for the villagers, so I got some of my bones, made it into bone meal, and then I had them all ready. And then on top of that, I had a couple stacks to throw at them. You do not have to do that, though. You can just be like, hey, I'm ready. I got my crops ready. Throw them in there. They'll start doing the crops, and then they'll start trading carrots, and it'll be fine. So it doesn't really matter what you do. Like I said, you can dig out a little area, run a boat up to it, build some sidewalls on there with some very disposable blocks, something easy to break the glass, let them go inside there, fill in the glass, and boom, you're ready to go. See, I mean, just very simple like that. Now, when the boat is in there and you break it, they're not able to get out. They're trapped inside. The only place they can go is forward through the glass. You've got your villagers in there. This is actually one of the easier ways to get villagers, and one of the easier one of the easier buildings. Things like iron farms and different places you got to get villagers can sometimes be very difficult. Taking a villager, trading hall, things like that. Sometimes they can be pretty much a pain in the butt, but this one's pretty easy to get them into. Clap a door on here. Like I said, I like to be able to get in and out. So put that there. Make sure I have a way to walk over there without having to jump, and I can get in and out. There we are. We're set. Got a nice little area. Nice little home for these guys that we're going to put a ceiling on right now. Look at it. Open it. Pretty. They've got a nice view. They're not going to feel bad about living in there. They're going to feel good about living in there. They'll be like, hey, we live here. So I'm going to grab my villagers over here. In my case, I am using a villager spawn egg. But I'm going to grab my villagers. I'm going to chuck them in here. A couple desert villagers because we're in the desert. One of them turns right away into a farmer. And they will get started. I'm going to go ahead and put my roof on here. I've given them some carrots. Throw them a bunch of carrots. Start getting the ceiling in here. And then I have to like stop. Hey, we got some hearts going on. Time for the first little Pepe. Where's he at? Oh, he's in here. There he is, right there between his mom and dad. Like, anyway, he's feeling a little nervous, right? He needs some carrots. He needs something to do. So let's go ahead and get this filled in. He's going to do his thing. He will run and jump under the bed. Once he's done being distracted, there he goes. Boom. Now he's in the waterway, and he will be flowing down the waterway. It sometimes can be stuck right down below in the ditch. See, they'll sit on those spots. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to go in and push them. You don't have to be like, I got to get them down there. They will get down there. Even without other ones pushing them, they'll eventually just kind of give up on the jumping, and they'll head down. So you don't really have to like stress out over those. I mean, the first time I saw them sitting there, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a pain. I'll have to put ice down in here. I got to figure out some different way. Maybe put some pressure plates instead of signs. I don't know. Whatever is to make the move easier, but they'll eventually get there. They don't mind. So here we are, villagers now. They're doing their cropping. We've got the farmer. He's got his spouse. Baby's moved on. He's out, no longer in the building. He's just in the waterway hanging out, waiting for someone else to join him. He just doesn't want to go down that big empty room by himself. I'm sure is what it is. He's like, I don't want to be down there. that's a scary place, right? I'm a little guy. I want to be someplace where it's fun. I want to be up there on those beds jumping. I was gonna jump on the beds. I was gonna be a bed jumper. Bad. No bed jumping for you. I did go in and put ice down along the walkway. It didn't change anything. It didn't make them slide even a bunch smoother or anything like that. When they want to get stuck for a little bit, they just get stuck for a little bit. That's why I tell you not to worry about it. I was thinking, oh, they need to move faster. I don't want them getting stuck. They're fine. So he is down there. He's got the place to himself. He's got his video games. He's got a movie theater. He's all right. He's living the high life. So once I saw that that's working and they're getting down there, for me, I went ahead and put bottom slabs right along where this first slab was. I didn't need to see him running down the tunnel anymore. Make sure it was working and make sure everything was going along smoothly. And then, but it was just looks. You can leave the glass in there and it's just fine. It doesn't matter. All right, so there is your infinite villager breeder. These guys will continue to breed about every 5 minutes as long as their inventory is full. So you can feed them up sometimes if you want to make sure, like if you don't think that they're full in the beginning, but eventually they'll have more than enough carrots. And every 5 minutes that you're in the area and they're actually active and moving because the chunk is loaded, they will continue to make little babies and they will continue to fly down in there. Now, these two have claimed the first two beds. The baby then jumps in and he slides down and he doesn't have a claim on the bed. And that's how it continues to go. So for these two villagers, Farmer and Mrs. Farmer, basically they think that they've got 7 beds. They can make 7 babies. And they always think they can make 7 babies. Seeing them in there right now. They're doing the wild thing right now. Right now they're like, hey, hey. And they're just doing their thing. You know, they don't want to be interrupted. The glass, they don't know I'm here. I can hide behind it. So they think they've got all the privacy in the world. New babies join the world. They chuck him a couple carrots. They're like, son, you're old enough to be on your own. Boom. He heads out to the job market. He's going to support the family. He's going to send money back home when he gets there. He knows what's important in life and what we should do, right? He's like, hey, I know what I need to do, and I got to get it done. But they did give him a steak. They gave him some carrots to get started. So he's not going into it. He's not going into it empty-handed. If you like this villager breeder, and you think that it's all good and this is something that you're interested in and it helps you out, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I'll be doing these tutorial videos a couple times a week. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want notifications of when new videos go live, hit that bell, ring it for notification. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you guys watching the video and listening to me rant on about things. I did see this from Fizedi. I will try to remember to put him in the description. You can check out his video. It's basically, I was looking for videos, something a little bit easier. I'd done one from Impulsive before, and I'm like, I need something a little bit easier than that doesn't break on me that I got to try to fix. This was perfect. You guys have a fantastic day. See you later.